Pangos and Bell, the freshman guards. Mike Hart, Harris, and Sacre up front for head coach Mark Pugh, who is in the process of trying to get to his 12th consecutive West Coast Conference championship, and we are underway. Game number 2 in the West Coast Conference slate for Gonzaga. And this is Mike Hart. Pangos guarded by Lowry. Harris has hit some threes this year. He drives, and the lay-in.
Right away you see the mismatch Elias is going to have. It could be Moore guarding him on the perimeter, or even Darby, who's a decent athlete. They're going to have a tough time keeping him in front, particularly if he uses those ball fakes beyond the three-point line. Nice move.
There's Lowry trying to create some space with Pangos right there. Found an opening, missed the shot. Darby the rebound, put back, no good. Sacre has it knocked out of his hands right to Bell. Sacre clearing out some space inside and a chance for 3. He clobbered Darby. No call.
Oh, the nice no call from the official. You know, I mean, given the lack of size up front, let's take a look at it. Not sure if we're going to see the contact. Nice heads-up play. Rob slows down, goes up strong enough to finish through the contact. But a lot of teams, a lot of these smaller teams in the WCC are going to look to bait the officials into calling some early fouls on Rob. Really, Rob, despite his numbers maybe not being as gaudy as some of his teammates, is probably the most difficult matchup in this conference, given how big and strong he is.
I agree with that. And as far as fundamentals go and the way he plays his position, he may be the best in this league at that.
Well, you're hard-pressed to find a better center, that's for sure.
You're not going to beat him to his spot, that's for sure, too. And he's one of those 7-footers that can run the floor that's so unique in this game. Although that seems to be changing.
Yeah, it's becoming a lot more of a fluid game. Smaller post players get up and down the floor, can step out and knock down shots. That's what makes Rob so likable in a lot of ways, is he's more of a traditional back-to-the-basket player.
7 on the shot clock. This is Lowry. Sacre popped out on him. Shot away. That's short by Hector Harrell. 5-0 Gonzaga. Trying to get it to Sacre, and they do. You can see the size advantage right away for Sacre inside. I know that's evident on television. Double team. Now Harris. Fake the pass, shoot the 3. 8-zip.
Good patience inside from Rob. Double team comes, and that's an area where he's really improved from his first year here to now. He can handle those double teams, doesn't panic, rush himself. That's a simple pass. Elias is able to take his time. Bobbled it initially. Slight ball fake, steps up with confidence. And you look at Elias the past 6 games, he is shooting lights out from 3, nearly 70% from beyond the arc. He's done a nice job picking and choosing his spots from that 3-point line.
This is a young Pepperdine team. As Mike Hart gets knocked to the floor. And they're without some of their weapons as well. Dane Suttle, Lauren Jackson. Jackson out for the year with an ACL. He was a big part of their offense a year ago. And Suttle has had chronic ankle injuries. It's not sure if he'll come back. 1 on the shot clock. And Willis forced to force that up.
Nice defensive possession for GU. If you look at that, nothing gets inside that 3-point line. GU doing an excellent job of protecting that dribble penetration. Force this Pepperdine ball club into tough shots overhand, and we've seen that here to start this ball game. GU now up 8-0. Pepperdine hasn't been able to get anything going at all offensively.
Here's Hart. Bell fires the 3. That's long. Loose ball. Corralled by Lowry, and back come the Waves. And so I would imagine it's important for Pepperdine just to get the ball moving around, try to find an open shot someplace. Well, find some rhythm in the offense.
Yeah, you'd like to get deeper into your shot clock and force you to guard you and you know, shorten the number of possessions, or rather reduce the number of possessions in this ball game.
But again, nobody moving right now.
Yeah, right away. It's stagnant offensively. GU doing an excellent job helping one another and getting out on shooters.
There's more, and that's a deep 3.
Right when I say that, Elias a little late on that help. It helped a little too long on Kevin's man and gave up the open 3. Corbin Moore can do that. 8 of 18 coming into tonight from behind the arc. Seems like every time we say something like that, we dig some, doesn't it?
Oh, he hasn't missed a free throw in 7,200 attempts. Doink. There's Bell for three. That one rattles in. 11-3 Gonzaga.
Simple offense. Really not much of a set there. Just dribble penetration. You force that defense to collapse. And Gary Bell has shown it time and time again this year. When he's able to spot up, catch, and shoot, he's about as good as this ball club has. A nice play.
Corbin Moore is really the focal point of this offense for Pepperdine. He's 6'10". Harold, that's for three. Zachary, another rebound. Not a good look by Pepperdine. They're not getting much from Gonzaga. Here's Pangos to the baseline, blocked by Moore. 15:27 to play first half. Gonzaga already with an 8-point lead on Pepperdine. 11-3. Pangos, Bell. There's a combination for years to come for Gonzaga. And GU 4 of 6 shooting in this first half.
It's about the third or fourth possession we've seen Pepperdine fall back in that 2-3 zone. Trying to protect that painted area. You know, take the chance that GU will struggle from three tonight. We'd much rather them shoot long jump shots than give up easy buckets around the rim.
Zachary working hard inside. Here's Mike Hart driving. Loose ball. Grabbed by Darby. And a foul is called here on Hart. That's his first, team's first.
Good patience, but Mike got himself into trouble in that baseline. Not only did he dribble too far along that baseline, but he left his feet. And when you jump and you have nowhere to go, it's almost an automatic travel. He tried throwing it up to the rim to get the tough finish, but wasn't able to do it. That's not his game. Take one dribble, two dribbles, take a look. If it's not there, move the ball. You're not a guy who's going to be a creator on the offensive end.
Here's Willis. And now Moore bouncing into Harris. Kick out Baker. That shot's long. Bell with a rebound on the run. Missed the shot. Tough one there. And a travel. Actually an offensive foul. Charge.
It looks like G does a nice job getting back. Mike Hart, let's take a look. He trails the offensive play, steps in, and despite the pass already being delivered, the official gives him the charge. That's a tough call. You know, I always look at it, you know, as an offensive player, leave my feet, I make my play. Shouldn't I be allowed to come back to the ground? But right there, the official, Mike clearly outside that half circle around the rim,
and I
gives him the call.
If you hit the guy in the chest is one thing, but when you braze him through the shoulder,
sure.
I'm not sure if you get the call. But we are in Spokane. Pangos. Zachary over the rim for that rebound. And he'll shoot free throws.
A good shot from Kevin Pangos off that first ball swing. And Rob's just going to be alone. Corbin Moore, the biggest player for Pepperdine at 6'10", but generously listed at 235 in the media guide, probably closer to 220. He's going to have a tough time all night with Rob trying to keep him off the glass. And that's an excellent area for Rob to score. You know, he doesn't have the offensive package, say, as Sam Dow or Elias Harris does, but he can get some buckets off those offensive rebounds. And tonight early, you've seen him go after some of those offensive rebounds.
Joshua Lowry, number 10, back on the floor for Pepperdine. This has been one of the more underappreciated guys, I think, in this decade for Gonzaga and what he's done. If you remember back to last year in that early season in that really tough schedule, as he's now 7th all-time in free throws made. He's going to have 400 by the time he's done. But he was so important, such a rock inside. He was a 15-10 guy. Early part of the season, really saved the season in my mind.
Well, you look at it, we talked about the top young guards, first 7 games, he carried this team. A little over 16 points a game, almost 10 rebounds. Did an excellent job getting himself to the free throw line, 10 free throws attempted per game. So you're absolutely right, he carried him earlier in the year, and he's done that throughout his career during stretches.
There's a nice offensive play. Hector Harold, the easy one. Sam Dower replaces Zachary. Guy Landry-Eddy on the floor as well for GU. So Zachary in front of Matt Bolden. Pangos' shot for 3 is short. Bolden had 368 makes from the free throw line. Lowry's shot from 3 in transition is good, and now Pepperdine, they're finding some rhythm the last couple of possessions.
Yeah, they have. They've gotten out on transition. They forced some missed shots, able to get the rebound in that zone. As a result, they've been able to get out in transition and find some rhythm shots, some open looks. They haven't gotten much at all in the half court.
Gonzaga now 1 of 7 shooting their last 7 shots, and Lowry, quick trigger in the transition.
Yeah, you can do that. Shoots about 32% from the three-point line.
How about that? Harris has really pulled that out of the arsenal this year.
He really has. You saw it a bit his freshman year. When you look at his freshman numbers, about 45% from 3. Really dropped off last year, I believe, in the 20s. This year, he's been much more consistent on the three-point line.
A lot of contact, no foul. Gonzaga basketball, actually Pepperdine basketball, as Willis and Pangos collided here right in front of us. And David Stockton on the floor now as Pangos gets a rest. Lowry tried to backdoor Eddie there. Landry Eddie. He's wanting Lowry to bring it right at him. And then the switch allowed Lowry to get inside, and shot was blocked. Lowry ran it down, 2 on the shot clock. He doesn't know. Finally he does and didn't get it away in time. 3 turnovers now for Pepperdine. They trail by 7.
Yeah, just offensively, 3 of 9 now. Really, the only success they've had is behind the three-point line. 2 of the 3 makes have come from behind the arc. And that's an area where they've had some success. GU, for the most part, inside the arc has done a nice job, though.
There's Stockton. Offensive foul.
Landry doesn't like it, but that's probably the right call from the official. Took that hard dribble, really had no purpose to that move. You know, he's more talented than Mike Hart is offensively, but when you got guys like David Stockton, Gary Bell, Kevin Pangos, guys who make plays with the ball, it's your job to play off those guys. I think sometimes guys feel the need to try to create something on their own, and that's just not his strength right now. At least he's got to continue to get comfortable at this level.
And Marquise Carter on the floor for GU as Gary Bell gets a breather. This is Jordan Baker, number 1 from the baseline, a freshman from Tempe. And it's a 5-point game. And if you look, only Harris is a starter remaining on the floor with 11:30 to play in first half. As Eddie rims out the 3-point attempt. Harris thought about the rebound. And it's Pepperdine basketball. Harris not happy. 11:24 to play first half. 5-point game.
Yeah, and he shoots more. He has more attempts, and the more you shoot, traditionally you're going to see that number slowly start to tick down a little bit. But the thing about both Stockton and Harris is, for the most part, they take shots on their own terms from behind the arc. You rarely see them throw up a bad look from behind the arc.
There's Caleb Willis. And Ramon Eaton, number 24, on the floor for Pepperdine. Eaton, another freshman out of Sacramento. 10 seconds on the shot clock, and Baker backs it out. 6 now. Baker on Harris. Offensive foul. Stockton there to take the brunt of it. Team foul number 5 on Pepperdine.
David Stockton and Mike Hart do that better than anybody on that ball club. They are able to anticipate where guys are going with the ball. They take the scouting report. They understand which plays teams are trying to run. And they just do an excellent job of anticipating, getting the right spot, and taking those charges. Those are big plays.
How much of it is instinct? How much of it is preparation?
I think it's instinct. I also think it's courage. Stepping in. A guy like David Stockton will step in against anybody.
Eddie missed a shot with the left hand. When I say preparation, you understand a player's tendencies before you get on the floor.
Exactly.
So you know their player's going to go to his right in that situation, so you know where to be.
Yeah, and there's a post guy like to spin off the block. Can I get there before he makes his move and draw him into a silly foul?
Loose ball out of bounds off of Pepperdine.
Checking in for Pepperdine, number 31, Nicholas Scowen.
And Nicholas Scowen on the floor, sophomore out of Norway. For Pepperdine, number 31. Can't say I've seen too many Norwegians make it to Division I basketball in America.
You don't see it all that often, that's for sure, coming out of Pratt Community College. But he's been a nice player for him. Does an excellent job scoring from behind the three-point line.
Stockton from the corner. Up high is Lowry. Lowry, a junior out of Phoenix. Scowen's first shot is off. And here's Darby. Harris the rebound.
Keep working, E.
Carter open three. Got to hit that one.
Oh, that's a good look. I like the fact he went up right away. We've seen him hesitate at times this year. Now 1 of 13 on the year from behind the three-point line. Hey, he can knock those shots down. He did it last year in bigger games than this. If he's going to get out of this slump, he needs to continue to shoot the ball.
Willis spinning inside, and we'll go to the free throw line. Gonzaga's hit just 1 of their last 11 field goals. They've gone
Ice.
Norwegian cold.
Norwegian cold, yeah. That's awfully cold. Do you think that's colder than Alaskan cold? Or?
Well, it depends on what part of the state. You know, Anchorage can be all right in the wintertime, but if you're up near the true Arctic, yeah, it's cold. It's cold. Caleb Willis. It's a 4-point game, 9:11 to play. Pangos, Merninghoff, Sacre back in.
Well, since that 8-0 run from the Bulldogs to start the ball game, Pepperdine now 8-7 spurt here. They've done a nice job. They've settled down offensively. They've done a better job moving without the ball and gotten some better looks in transition.
Willis hits them both. Junior out of Stockbridge, Georgia, averaging 6.5 points a game. It's a 3-point game. 9:04 to play first half.
This zone has caused GU some problems. It's a slow down that offensive attack. And GU a little more passive against that zone.
High-low. Dower, Sacre, jump look good.
Nice simple play. That high post area against those 2-3 zones is where you can beat those zones. Catch the ball there. It forces the defense to either move up or move in, and you'll find open shooters to be able to dump down just like that inside to the other big.
Willis driving on Stockton, little fall away. Missed it. Sacre with his 3rd rebound. Seems like he's had many more than that.
He's got his hands on a lot of balls, particularly on the offensive end. He's much more active tonight than he has been over the last 4 or 5 games.
Dower in and out. Gonzaga basketball. But Sam got the open shot from the elbow there. He won't miss many of those either.
Look at the numbers. We talked about the 3 games. Last 6 games, nearly 14 points per game. Takes less than 8 shots a game.
Yeah.
That's a ridiculous level of efficiency with your touches. You know, as his career progresses and he gets starters minutes, it's going to be impressive to see what he can do.
And look, that shot's open again.
But I think he understands it's early in the shot clock. We can move the ball around. I can get that shot later on in the clock.
Somehow Stockton got that pass to Sacre, who had to go down around his shins to catch it. 7:46 to play first half. Gonzaga's lead is at 5, 17-12. And the rock inside, steady as she goes for GU. Greg Heister, Richard Fox, courtside. Gonzaga, Pepperdine, West Coast Conference men's basketball. 7:46 to play first half, and GU with a 5-point lead at 17-12. And Rob Sacre back at the free throw line with 6 points, 3 rebounds. He's 2 of 2. He's as good as they come from this line. And when you throw in the fact that he's 7 feet,
it's impressive.
I mean, the fact that he's 7 feet shooting well over 80% makes him one of the best free throw shooters, I think, in the history of the game.
Well,
when you consider
here at GU, there's no doubt.
Right. Well, but I mean anywhere. When you consider the great free throw shooters of all time have all been guards, but when you can throw a 7-footer, and that's a traditional 7-footer out there. Now that's not a European coming in here that can shoot threes. That's a 7-footer who plays rough and rugged, but has that touch from the free throw line.
I mean, I know I've never played with a guy or seen a guy in person that can shoot the ball that well with that size from the free throw line. There's no doubt about it. It's awfully impressive.
There's the turnover. Merninghoff with it. They're thrown right back. Ramon Eaton. Here's Willis. Eaton looking to spin on Sacre. Left hand too hard. Loose ball. No, that's Pangos. And now Stockton with it. Little runner inside. No good. Moore. So let me ask you. Pepperdine likes to slow it down. They like to limit possessions in the game. Okay. So how do you get them out of that? I mean,
you get stops. You get stops. Get yourself out in transition.
But don't you shoot quick in transition to get the tempo of the game going quicker?
Yeah, if you have an opportunity in transition, right there, I mean, you ended up getting a good shot. David slowed it down enough, split the defense, and got himself a nice little floater. But
there's a block by Dower, loose ball out of bounds, and it goes to GU.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to speed a team up that likes to slow it down, you got to turn them over and take the defensive rebounds and get out in transition. Because at some point, they're going to be down enough where they're going to have to speed things up on their own. But in a tight game, it's really hard to force teams to speed up if you can't turn them over and if you can't take care of your defensive glass.
Boy, I tell you, this has not been an offensive showcase here for either team. Last 6 minutes and 30 seconds. Gonzaga with 1 field goal, Pepperdine with 1 field goal. You know what I meant by a traditional 7-footer, right?
Oh, absolutely.
I wasn't talking about flavors of ice cream or anything.
I'm
a back to the basket kind of guy.
I feel you.
Okay. There's our turnover. Bell at the other end. And he'll shoot free throws.
Boy, I tell you what, you see his strength there. He starts getting hip checked just past half court and still has the strength and the wherewithal to keep his handle, keep the defender on his hip, and still get a good shot up and draw the foul. You don't see that from guards often, let alone a freshman. His body, his strength is really impressive for someone his age, and you just have to think as he matures and gets more time in that weight room and refines his game, I think he's going to be just as good as Kevin down the road and have just the same type of impact as people expect Kevin to have.
And we may have a new nickname in the brewing.
Oh, see, I heard about this. I wasn't going to do it to him.
Well, no. I'm not talking about that nickname. I'm talking about GB2.
Oh, I like that.
That works, huh? GB2.
I think he likes it. He would like that better than the other one.
Sacre came to me today at shoot-around and said, "Hi, sir, I want you to use this nickname." Gary says, "No, I don't want you to use it." So I'll respect the freshman.
I had the same thing happen to me the day before the game.
But Gary was all right with GB2.
I like that. I like that.
There's a 10-second call. Gonzaga's defense starting to ramp it up here. 8 turnovers now for Pepperdine.
And ball pressure, jumping in those passing lanes will speed teams up. And right there you saw in that possession, Gary Bell really doing it. Merninghoff trying to help out as well on that full court pressure. Just get up into guys, and it's going to speed them up. They're going to panic, rush themselves, and that's when players commit turnovers.
Merninghoff for 3. Bang! That's an important shot for that guy. He has struggled for minutes this year, Richard, and I know he's been frustrated at times. That's a guy that can help Gonzaga down the road.
I agree. I like his game. He's 6'6", 6'7", good athlete. Obviously can knock down the three-point shot, and he's given you a lot more effort this year as a sophomore on the defensive end. Still figured things out on that end, but the effort's there.
Scowen driving. Reverse missed it. Merninghoff with the rebound, and back comes Pangos. Gonzaga with an 11-point lead, their largest of this game now. Bell into the middle. That's tough. That's good.
That's real good.
Timeout, Pepperdine.
Marty Wilson wants to travel. Not going to get it from the officials. There's finally a little noise here in the building. It's been quiet. No students.
It took a 10-0 run.
Let's take a look. A little ball fake. Rips through. 2 dribbles. Hop step. Probably did get away with the travel there, but you like the finish and the strength to finish through the contact. I think Marty Wilson might have a point there. It's at the hop step and then the 1-2 in the lane. But still, you like that aggressiveness from your freshman. Does a really nice job. Shoots about 50% inside the arc. So he's not just a guy who needs to score beyond the three-point line. If he can get around a guy, if he can get a guy on his hip, he can finish.
And Richard, if this kid can progress and grow in this program like we've seen so many do, he's a stud.
And we haven't talked about it, but the thing about a lot of these kids, particularly your backcourt and Stockton, Bell, and Pangos, they all love the game. That's what they want to do when they have free time. They want to be in the gym. They want to play. They want to shoot. And I tell you what, you know, if you get that kind of culture going in this program, you know, they've had it at times for large stretches in this program, but you get that back, led by those guys, you're only going to get better. And those three, particularly, you know, Bell and Pangos, who have a little bit more talent, they're going to be awfully tough every year.
But Bell, I don't think, is a guy as Baker lines up the shot and knocks it down. Not a guy that's going to electrify you with all this tremendous athleticism. Kind of reminds me of a Dumars kind of guy. Just physical, in the right place at all the time. Knew how to play the game. And that big, thick body, he's strong.
He's a good enough athlete, but he knows how to play. Yeah. And that, you know, just having enough of that athletic ability is going to allow him to make plays against maybe some guys who are more talented than him physically. You know, I agree 100% with that. That's a great point.
But to watch him put the ball on the floor and go to the rim, man, to me, that's the greatest asset in a guard.
Yeah,
a lot of them can shoot it, but can you take it to that rim with force? And we've got a whistle.
Shot clock issue here, I believe, with the officials.
Not another one.
I don't think that
after
first attempt
Michigan
hit the rim.
State, Wisconsin. Did you see that? How does that happen?
Two
I talked to the
times.
officials tonight. So what's happened in the history of this game, you start with, you know, the scoreboard clock, and then they institute the shot clock, and then the little lights. Well, nobody ever tied any of those systems together, which doesn't make any sense, especially in a BCS conference, that you would think all three indicators should be tied together so they go off at the same time. Mother help us all. 4 minutes to play first half. We'll be right back. And welcome back. 25-14 our score. Came into the game thinking that Taylor Darby had to play well for Pepperdine to have any chance. They've been hanging in this game even though the lead's out to 11 right now. Darby's not been doing much.
No, I mean, they compete on the glass, 4 rebounds, but 0 of 3 from the field has yet to score. And if you're trying to pull off the big upset on the road, your leading scorer coming in on you know, this up to this point in the season, 12 points per game for Darby. He has really struggled against the physical play of GU, and as hard as he works, he just doesn't have that physical size to really compete against Dower, Harris, and Zachary.
And Dower's only taken 1 shot after these great run the last 3 games. Murninghoff with the defense. And if he starts showing his coaches a little of that, he'll earn more time.
Absolutely.
Bell. We are watching something special here. 10 points. These 2 guards, and Pangos and Bell, Richard.
Well, you wouldn't be able to tell if they just have been playing together for about 3 months. They have a chemistry on the floor. So, always know where the other's going to be and do an excellent job of playing off one another. You saw it right there in transition.
I mean, we got to see Dickow and Step together, but it was Dickow at the end, Step at the beginning. To watch these guys now over the next 3 years together, it's going to be crazy nice. Willis inside. And we've got a foul call. This will be team foul number 4 in the first on Robert Sacre.
Robert, little grin on his face. looks at the official and says, "Really?"
The officials have to enjoy him.
Oh, he's smiling back. Yeah, he's smiling back. But I was like, as much as I push people around and bang with guys, that's the one I get dinged on.
Yeah.
He's a good sport about it, though.
Oh, good stuff. Well, Willis has been pretty good at the free throw line tonight. 3 of 3 now for Pepperdine. 13-point game. Missed that one. Murninghoff the rebound.
Good minutes from Murninghoff. 2 rebounds, knocked down a 3-point shot. Pardon me, 3 rebounds and a blocked shot as well.
And now Sacre going back to the line. (11-2) to get to this point in the season. And I know we talked a little bit about it in the open. It's a young team. We got new guards. You're never quite sure on the guards. The guard's the most important position in college basketball, so you just don't know. Mark Few thinks it's his most difficult schedule ever. I don't know if I agree with that. We may not know about that till the end of the season, but pretty spectacular what we've witnessed.
Well, so many kids come in with hype surrounding them.
Yeah.
You know, this recruiting service, says this, that's, this other one says they're ranked here. You hear, word of mouth from people how good a guy is, and it comes in and just you don't see it. And there's things off the floor that might get in the way. And so I think a lot of people are kind of just cautiously optimistic, but these two kids have really stepped up and filled the bill.
Pangos, count it. Tell you, that kid is way above his years, too.
Well, both of them.
That finish right there is awesome.
Let's take a look in transition. Just a little stutter step. Pepperdine tries to take the charge, but like you mentioned earlier in the first half, Mike Hart got that call. Pepperdine doesn't. The official calls a blocking foul on, I believe that was Mills, or Willis, rather.
And the three-point play by Pangos. His first points of the night.
I tell you, this full-court pressure from GU has really caused Pepperdine a lot of problems.
There's the deflection, then he runs it down. Murninghoff, three-ball, corner. Rebounded Baker. Gonzaga on an 18-2 run. There's a quick shot way off by Eaton. Baker, the rebound, putback is good. Pangos spin.
Good patience here.
Very good patience. 15 on the shot clock. Pangos for three.
That's a good shot. Late in the clock, about 15 seconds left. They swing the ball about 3 or 4 times. Continue to shift that Pepperdine defense. You end up with a good look at the top of the key for Pangos. I tell you, let him square up and set his feet. You expect that ball to go in.
And you saw the graphic there, 1 of 7 against Xavier, but the one he hit,
Might have been the dagger.
it was sick. I mean, it's just a great, great, great shot. Bell in transition lay-in. Richard, I get excited watching this sort of stuff. I get excited. We've been around this program for a while now, and it's to have those teams with all those seniors, you kind of know their ceiling.
Sure.
But to watch it, this is the most exciting season, or this type of team is the most exciting for me to watch. You see them progress and grow. There's a three-point shot made by Harold.
Yeah. Well, the thing I like about Pangos and Bell, yeah, sure they're talented. There's no arguing that, but they love the game. They have no ego. They're coachable. That really bodes well for their future and this program's future. There's no doubt.
Travel called on Murninghoff there. He didn't like the call.
Good minutes though for Murninghoff. 3 rebounds, 1 of 2 from behind the arc, 3 points. Has himself a block. Was at the right place at the right time defensively for the most part. Those are solid minutes. You know what they say? You earn your playing time in practice. You extend it in games. So the coach, you earn 5 minutes after a good week of practice, and you play well in those 5 minutes. Next time you're out there on the floor, it might be 8 minutes. And that's how that progression happens, particularly for a young player like Murninghoff.
And the deflection by Dower on the floor. Pepperdine keeps possession. 19 on the shot clock. So Dower still on the floor with an 18-point lead. Spangler, number 15 on the floor for GU. 10 on the shot clock. Lowry forced to do it himself maybe here. Nope, now Baker with it. Barely got it off.
Just bad offense from Pepperdine. 1 ball swing. You take a contested shot.
When Pangos took that shot, he had some extra time. He thought he was going to make that, didn't he?
It looked good from where we were at.
38-20 the score. Pangos let it rip. Well, Gonzaga started strong. Then they went through a bit of a rut. But they finished that first half shooting over 40%. They have an 18-point lead on the Pepperdine Waves. Rob Sacre with a smile. Bell Jr. leading all scorers with 12 points on 4 of 6 shooting, couple of rebounds. It's halftime in Spokane. We'll be right back. And welcome back to the McCarthy Athletic Center. Time now for tonight's Arby's trivia question. How many consecutive seasons have the Zags opened WCC play with a win? Is it 16, 13, 9, or 6? Text your answer to 27297. We'll have that answer a little bit later in the show. Greg Heister, Richard Fox, courtside, getting ready for the start of the second half. And I'd be remiss if I didn't say hello to my buddies Ryan and Fritz.
Oh, yeah?
Watching the game tonight, sending me critiques by text messages. And I just wanted to pass along that I think you're doing a wonderful job. Me, on the other hand,
Thank you very much.
Me, on the other hand, we're not sure about it.
Well, I'm sure if they had my number, I wouldn't be getting as nice a text as I would hope. But at least they're watching. That's nice of them.
Yeah, it is. Okay, here we go. Zachary, Pangos, Hart, Harris, and Bell on the floor. For Pepperdine, we've got Willis, Harold, Lowry, Darby, and Moore. That shot is off by Harold. And now Pangos. Harris for 3. Good look by Elias.
Yeah, it's a little quick in the shot clock, but he's open. And given how well he's shooting from behind the three-point line, you don't want to discourage a guy when he's feeling that good from behind the arc. And that's
20.
it.
Good.
I was just going to say, Pepperdine's going to come out here, embarrassed a bit here in the first half, down 18. They're going to come out with some energy. You have to believe Marty Wilson got into them a little bit, trying to fire them up a little bit. Gonzaga needs to respond with the same type of effort.
There's a block by Hart. And then the turnover inside. Bell, 3. That rattles out. Zachary with the rebound, lost the grip. And it's run down by Lowry. Now Willis with it. Moore. That one rattled around like it was a pinball game.
A nice move, though. Really, the first time Moore's been able to go one-on-one inside. And single coverage, he's effective around the rim and can step out and knock down a jump shot.
Foul inside.
I tell you what, the two-man game between the bigs for GU is about as good this year as they've had in over a number of years. All 3 guys that play minutes, Dower, Harris, and Zachary, are always looking for each other. They do the right thing. The first look is to get myself going. Do I have a move? What's the right play? But if I get doubled or I'm not comfortable, where's my partner? And more often than not, they make the right decision, and they get a lot of easy buckets that way.
Harold picks up his 3rd personal foul. That's Pepperdine's first foul this half. Well, now the phone's lighting up. I got everybody wanting to say hi. So, Dana, I can't say hi.
None of my friends must be watching because my phone is, very supportive.
18-point game. And now the pressure again.
GU had some success with this in the first half. Pepperdine wasn't very comfortable trying to break this full court press from GU. Do a nice job here, but this is another way to speed up a team that likes to keep things slow.
Lowry missed the shot, took it right back. And now he's chased by Hart. They took it away from him. Pangos over Moore. What a finish. 20-point lead.
How about that? 3 great plays.
It was like, you mess with my buddy, huh? I'll get you.
Hey, tell you what, Lowry was a nice heads-up play. Mike Hart, once again, not quitting on anything. And then a tough finish for Pangos over Moore inside.
Darby missing the shot. Pangos. That one rattled out. Zachary up high to get the rebound. Bell for 3.
His offensive rebounds. There's no better time to look to get a shot from the three-point line. And off those offensive rebounds, traditionally that defense is going to be near that rim, collapsing down and try to get the defensive rebound. You get that offensive rebound, not comfortable putting it up as a big turn, face that three-point line and find yourself a shooter. Let's see right here.
Yeah, the steal by Hart, got it to Pangos, and then high off the glass. Gonzaga coming alive. Look at the rebound by Sacre. Out to Bell, and bang. Whoa. I know nothing about dancing. Can you give her a grade there, Richard? We used to call you the big sexy.
A for
you
effort.
must know something about the dance floor.
A for effort, technique. Still needs a little work. A little work, but I love the effort. The passion's there, and that's the first thing you need when you want to start dancing.
Gary Bell now a career high 15 points in this game. Here's Darby on Harris. He'll get a free throw.
First bucket for Darby, a tough one. Thought that was pretty solid defense from Harris, standing straight up. Definitely some contact in the body, but Darby finds a way to finish it now. First bucket of the night, only 2 points, 1 of 5. He has really struggled to get himself going. You know, part of his game is predicated on getting out in transition, finishing at the rim, but Pepperdine just unable to get enough stops to create something on the offensive end going the other way.
(45-24) the score. Here's the lob. Look out. Harris missed it, but grabbed it right back. He caught it on the other side. I don't think I've ever seen that.
It must be nice to be able to jump like that.
7 on the shot clock, and Pangos in and out, back in.
I tell you what, Pangos now 4 of 10, 11 points, only 2 of 7 from the three-point line after that make. But you look at that line and you say, there's not a shot he took, he's taken so far, you say that was a bad shot. It's amazing how a guy who can score the way he does finds ways and opportunities within the context of the offense.
Foul called there on Jordan Baker. That's his 3rd personal foul, 2 on Pepperdine, 16:15 to play second half. Gonzaga's offense, to me, seems to be growing as Harris just takes it upon himself. Drives that baseline in reverse.
There's a lot more purpose to what they're doing, and this is a group that few has been able to put a lot more in on the offensive end that maybe he may not have been able to do last season in particular. Makes them more difficult to guard. It's an unselfish group, and they're just becoming more and more comfortable, and their turnovers have steadily decreased as the season's gone down or progressed.
Whoa! Eaton went for the jam, missed it, and he's hurt at the other end. Ball goes out of bounds. It stays with Gonzaga, but Eaton's still on the floor, holding his back. May have hit his head as well. Marty Wilson looking at the officials. He's not happy. 15:26 to play. We'll be right back. And welcome back. Gonzaga with a 50-24 lead on Pepperdine. Greg Heister, Richard Fox. The Waves second in the WCC in scoring defense. They only allow 61.5 points a game. A lot of that may be just because of what they do on offense, right? They slow the ball down. They limit possessions.
Yeah, they want to slow things down, limit. And that's, offensively, they're happy with less possessions. It's on the defensive end where they really want to try to limit their opposition, and they do a fairly good job of doing that.
And now, well, we'll show you what Marty Wilson was upset about a moment ago. Not just that his player got hurt. And Gonzaga back on offense now. Harris inside, lost the grip. Picked up by Scowen. He lost it. Picked up by Harris. Up to Dower. Handoff. Harris. And he's fouled.
Not the prettiest back-to-back plays offensively,
Frankly,
but
quite ugly.
yeah.
But fun.
Well, I tell you what, right there, Elias does a nice job in the initial possession, getting the ball in that high post. Had the ball poked away. And Mike Hart, again, trails the play, able to get his fingertips on the ball, causes the turnover. And Sam with the heads-up play, just give it, dish it back up to Elias, let the guy who's a little faster than you try to finish at the rim.
It was like it was a turnover on the football field, and he's trying to hand it off to the fastest player.
Almost worked.
It did. Harris missing them both, though. 10 points, 4 of 7 shooting, 7 rebounds.
Does a decent job on the defensive end as well. There's only 1 foul despite playing pretty physical defense on the low block.
Baker from the corner missed it. Moore tipped it to himself, but Hart took it away, and then he's stripped from behind by Willis. He's tied up. Possession arrow favoring Gonzaga.
Back in for Pepperdine,
14:36 to play. Guy Landry Eddy on the floor for GU. It's obvious that, Pepperdine just doesn't have the horses now.
No. Good injury. Obviously lost a lot of talent off last year's ball club. Just not enough size, athletic ability, and talent right now. This is a first-year coaching staff that's got a lot of work ahead of them.
Leah's missing from the baseline on the turnaround. At what point in time does that demoralize a team?
Well, we talked about it last week with Portland. This is probably a better ball club when at full strength, but you lose enough and lose badly. At some point, you really won't worry about losing your players.
Blocked by Harris. Right to Baker, 10 on the clock. Ramon Eaton had no chance of getting that shot to the rim. Baker inside. Drops it through. Here's Bell in transition. That shot's off. Eddy went for the tip jam and missed it. Deflection, Harris, and he grabbed it. Out to Pangos. Gonzaga, the aggressor, leading it 50-26. Eddy looking to drive. Deflection. Another deflection. Pangos grabs it. Gonzaga back on offense.
New shot clock. Officials determine Pepperdine have possession.
Harris is short. Willis the rebound. Willis driving, and he'll shoot 2. 12:51 to play here. 50-26 our score.
And you want to see if there's a better effort on the defensive end. Elias does a nice job, cuts off the initial move. Doesn't quit on the play, isn't satisfied with that effort. And plays for the possession, comes up with a big block. Now that the effort's there, he's only going to get better and better on that end of the floor. He's only going to become that much more of a complete player for GU.
Carter, Spangler, Stockton checking in for GU as Pangos, Bell, and Harris go out. That's quite a trio right there.
Probably done for the night, you would imagine.
It's a long season. Getting players rest is not always a bad thing, is it?
No, not at all. Especially when you have first game here, you have a game on Saturday. It's one thing if it's a Saturday game. You got a longer week ahead of you to get some guys some rest, but it's also nice to reward some guys deeper on that bench, give them some minutes. This is the kind of playing time that might get a guy like Marquise Carter going on the offensive end.
Carter. Spangler the rebound, missed it. Dower another offensive rebound. And a new clock.
Offensive rebound number 8 for GU. Putting in a lot of work on the offensive glass.
Stockton, Dower, finished. Dower's first field goal.
And a simple play from David. you know, he makes those dribble penetration, those moves, and often I think his intent the entire time is to create an angle to deliver the pass. You saw it right there. And the guys have played with him enough now to know to always be looking for the ball. He has unique ways of delivering the ball inside.
And a whistle. And a foul called here. 11:45 to play. Gonzaga leading Pepperdine 52-28. Sam Dower getting his first field goal. Set up by David Stockton. An easy one. We'll be right back. Well, here's your Arby's trivia question and the answer. How many consecutive seasons of the Zags open WCC play with a win? 16, 13, 9, or 6? The answer, 16, including this season. Zags have opened WCC play with a win every year since 1996. Hungry for Arby's? Now get 2 beef and cheddar sandwiches, just $5. Been a long time. $11:45 to play here. Speaking of a long time for Pepperdine.
I'll tell you what, a long 11:30 left here in the second half. As a coaching staff, you try to sell it to your guys. Hey, we can still get something out of this. You know, this doesn't make or break our season. A lot of teams are going to lose here this year. Let's get better.
Baker missed it. Eaton the rebound. Loose ball. Still loose. Moore has it. Tied up by Carter. And Pepperdine basketball.
Good hustle from both ball clubs. You're Marty Wilson. You'll love to see that. Guys are still competing. Obviously struggling. You see here a little hot potato. And Pepperdine gets the initial offensive rebound, and then it's a loose ball. You see several guys on the ground. A nice effort from both ball clubs.
So 28 seconds on the shot clock. Plenty of time for Pep. Lowry just 3 points in this game. The average is 9, but the way he started this game, he seemed to be the most aggressive on offense for the Waves. He's only taken 4 shots.
Well, that's largely due to G's defense. You see pressure all over the floor.
More turnaround and a chance for 3.
Good call
on Spangler.
Good call from the official, but you like the defense. Ryan contested the move, did a nice job not giving up anything in the middle. Forces a tough fadeaway for Moore, but just happens to get him on the wrist. Let's take a look here. Good move from Moore. Fadeaway, and Ryan will learn. You don't need to come down. You've done your job already. Just challenge the shot. You don't need to block that fadeaway. If you do, you often end up with some of those silly fouls you saw right there.
Quick pass, Dower. Carter to Dower in the flush.
Well, I tell you what, Marquise Carter's offensive production, his points per game isn't all that exciting when you compare to what he did last year, but he's been much better with the ball the last 5 games. Only 2 turnovers versus 22 in the first 8 games.
There's an unforced turnover. 10:24 to play. 17 turnovers now for Pepperdine.
What a look inside from the senior. And for as good as Sam Dower is, what isn't talked about enough here is how soft his hands are. I tell you, you throw him a tough pass, he's got a great chance of catching it.
That's why his shot just seems to go in all the time. It's that feathery bounce on the rim off the glass. Bounce, 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 drop. That shot way off by Eddie. Rebounded by Ramon Eaton, number 24. Baker split the defenders. Shot off, no good. Spangler the rebound.
Good board in traffic from Spangler. Went up with both hands to grab the ball.
Dower fall away. Can't teach that.
So it takes one play for him to get himself going offensively. It was that nice drop off inside from Stockton. Got him that easy left-handed layup. And then it's just started to roll from there. It's amazing. You get him one good look, one good move, and his entire effort increases, and his offensive production increases as well.
Eaton will go to the free throw line. And we're reminded by Chauncey Jones, our producer, that it's often second halves where Dower really provides the punch for Gonzaga, and that's huge.
Yeah, I mean,
anybody can score points in the first half, right? But a guy who can get it done in the final 20.
Well, he scores in bunches. You know, you look at Xavier, scored 12 of the 14 GU points in about a 4:30 stretch in the second half. Versus Air Force, scored all 16 points in the last 15 minutes of the second half. So you're absolutely right. Not only in the second half, but he does it in bunches. And that has a real impact in a game when a guy can get you 8-10 points in a 3-4 minute stretch.
Spangler out. Sacre back in. And Pepperdine also with our first look at Manny Ochenji, a freshman out of Nigeria. And Manny wearing number 34. He's inside 6'9", 205. He's defending Sacre right now. Three-second violation. There's Ochenji.
I think Rob sees Ochenji coming onto the floor, and freshman only played 8 games. He wants the ball. But you got to be a little more patient as a big. Make sure you get out of that lane. And you get that 3-second call.
Willis bumped by Dower. And Sam picks up his first personal. And that's 6 on GU with 8:53 to play.
6 team foul, Bulldogs.
Wide open shot is off by Harold. And back comes GU. Very quiet in here tonight, Richard.
Yeah,
Have you noticed?
It's been about the lowest energy we've had all year. It's tough with the students gone.
I don't really dig the games when you can hear the squeak of the sneakers. Carter will shoot free throws. I mean, it reminds me of an NBA game. Go to the NBA game, you can hear the squeak, 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 squeak. You shouldn't be able to hear that in the college game.
And plus, you know, it's a 24-point game here late in the second half.
I know, cut them some slack.
Yeah, well, I mean,
plus, if you had the chicken sandwiches here,
I have not.
I mean, they'll put you right to sleep.
Really?
Oh. I mean, you get all that carbohydrate in you, put you right out, Richard. I think that's what the food's too good in here. Students can't afford it. Right? They don't get it.
I give second thoughts about buying it when I go to a game.
Murninghoff checking in for GU.
Trying to use that media pass, come down here and get whatever leftovers we have.
Brock Salzman, our statistician, brings a bag of jerky to every game. Pure protein and nitrates, but a lot of protein. 8:15 to play. Big Rob. Tip back, Murninghoff. Rob got tired of looking for an open teammate.
That's a good look for him, though. You don't shoot nearly 80% from the free throw line. Or rather, you shoot that well from the free throw line. You should be comfortable shooting those jump shots in that area. That's not a shot you want to see him shoot often, but if he's open, he's got to pull the trigger.
Stockton into the paint. Boy, that's a tough shot.
That is tough. Quick move, right off the catch. One dribble gets himself in that painted area, and that's a beautiful looking floater.
His dad was good at that. Baker tried to go back door, but not through Dower. Stockton now, that shot's off. Willis fighting through the defense. Sacre the rebound, up to Dower. Big Sam will shoot free throws. He was stripped by Baker.
Nice.
7:30 to play. Gonzaga leading at 59-32. And look at the soft touch by David Stockton. We'll be back. Again, it's nighttime in Spokane. Well, Santa Clara on Saturday for GU. Test should be a little more difficult.
I would imagine, yeah.
The Broncos with Kevin Foster. This is a kid that lit him up a year ago down there in Santa Clara.
Oh, he's a kid.
He's got real skill.
Can go off for 40 points. He's that good a shooter. You don't see guys that often who can make contested three-point shots from way beyond the NBA line. And he's a straight scorer. Doesn't look to create for anybody else. He's a tough matchup because every time that you think you can relax, think you've got him outside of a scoring area, he'll look to pull a shot.
It's gotten tough for Pepperdine. The first 8 minutes and 20 seconds, they had 4 field goals made. The last 24-plus minutes, they've only had 7. And Sam Dower at the free throw line, and just a friendly roll. 7 points now for Sam, 2 rebounds. It's really hard to look at the statistics if you're a Gonzaga coach or a Gonzaga fan after a game like this. I think the most important indication is that the energy has stayed very consistent throughout, both on both ends.
Well,
agree?
I totally agree. I think the effort's been there on both ends for the most part the entire game. Particularly defensively, you've been disciplined. You've made life very difficult for Pepperdine. Both individually, you've put in the effort, and then collectively, did a nice job as well. So,
ow.
That looked like it hurt.
Willis is tough, though. Got some hockey in him.
And, you know, I think some of the numbers here offensively, you're not shooting a great percentage for your GU, a little less than 41%. Your three-point percentage number's gone down here a little bit in the second half, 33%. So you missed some free throws, although you've done a nice job on the glass with 32 rebounds. But I think defensively, you take a lot away from it. The effort was there in a building where you have no students. You have some students back on Saturday, and that's going to be a big boost.
Matisse Kaida on the floor, number 25 for GU. Here's Spangler inside, jump hook, missed it. And a foul called on Dower. So Dower picks up his second. That's 7 on GU. Sam just went for the rebound.
Yeah, I didn't see it. I was watching the ball, and it's like everybody on the floor was surprised with the call, but Darby will take the free throws.
And he hits the first end. Senior out of San Marcos, California. 12 points, 6 rebounds.
And he's really blossomed this year. I mean, you look at the first 3 years, primarily a starter, career averages of 7 points, 6 rebounds. This year he's really done a nice job bumping those up to about 12 and 6 respectively. He's a guy who's developed every year. And it hasn't been easy being away the last few years with the coaching changes and the struggles on the floor.
Well, Dower now with 9 points. This game was close at the 9-11 mark of the first half. GU was up 15-12. But then an 18-3 run blew it open. And it's been all Gonzaga since. 62-36 the score as we near the 6-minute mark. Ten on the shot clock. Willis. Left hand, no good. Whistle. And this foul's on GU, and I believe it's on Spangler. His second, team's 8th.
You know, Willis has struggled tonight. Only 2 field goals attempted. 5 points. Has done his damage from the free throw line. 5 of 6 there. But for a guard, he's a good rebounder. You see 4 rebounds tonight, 2 assists, and he competes. And with that body, he's a big kid, has good strength. I think he's a guy that they can continue to build around here the rest of this year.
Sam Dower out of the game. Mike Hart replaces him. Dower 9 points, 4 of 5 shooting, 2 rebounds, 1 assist. Murninghoff. Number 2 of the game for him.
There's always room for a shooter in your rotation.
Gotta have him, right? You gotta have him.
And it's been a luxury this year, given the fact that Pangos has done such an excellent job, as well as Stockton, Harris, and Bell from the three-point line. But if you want this a straight shooting competition, Murninghoff would be right there with Pangos. He's that good a shooter.
Probably anybody in the league.
Well, I mean, look at a kid like that. You know, Murninghoff, what kind of minutes would he get at another program, maybe outside of St. Mary's, BYU?
He's a 6'5" shooter.
Yeah, that's indicative of the depth this program has right now.
Again, Murninghoff. How about that? His teammates love him.
I was just going to say that. You can tell they really root for him. He's a good kid. You get the chance to talk to him. Humble kid, not a lot of ego. Just loves to play the game. And I think people forget sometimes how big of an adjustment it is coming in from overseas, not really knowing the language and trying to assimilate to what you're, to not only the basketball side of things, but also the culture. I think he's done an excellent job of trying to balance both.
And he's admitted to me it's been frustrating for him. His whole life he's played.
Well, he can make money. Hey, a lot of, Kaida, Harris, Murninghoff, all these European guys could make money right now and play.
So time for our play of the game, brought to you by Cost Cutters, family hair salons in North Idaho. Cost Cutters for perms, colors, and haircuts, starting at $14. Open daily. Cost Cutters, our play of the game, and it is that third make from behind the arc by Matisse Murninghoff. Or, I'm sorry, Modest Murninghoff. 9 points on 3 of 4 shooting. All of his attempts from behind the arc. Also has 4 rebounds. And there's Matisse. Kaida, the steal, missed it. Carter got it back. Spangler with the right hand off the left side of the glass. You got to get the left hand going on him.
Oh, I thought Sam Dower was one-hand dominant. You don't see that very often. Use the left hand, big fella, but a nice play. Marquise Carter comes up with the offensive rebound.
Harold driving inside. And Hart called for the foul. And that's, actually it's on Murninghoff. His first. 9 team fouls now on GU. And that puts Hector Harold out of Pasadena, the sophomore, at the free throw line. Guy Landrietti on the floor. Mike Hart goes out. One of 2. Spangler with his 4th rebound. Kaida driving. Eddie lost the handle. And he'll shoot a free throw. 70-38. So the foul on Manny Ochenji. That's his first.
At this point in the game, Greg, I think both coaches want to get out of here.
No injuries.
Make sure there are no injuries. It's tough in these types, at this point in this type of ball game to get a lot out of it as far as coaching and all that. I mean, individual players can make some progress and maybe get some confidence, but overall, there's not a lot you can gain from this for either team.
4 minutes to play now. There's Ochenji. Nigerian. Came here to play high school basketball. Hasn't been home in almost 5 years. Hasn't seen his family in almost 5 years. Kaida misses, which I think is the one thing that bothers me most about college athletics and this whole you pay the players argument. I don't know if I'll ever get to that point, but when you recruit international players and you can't buy a kid who doesn't have the money to go home and see his family in the summer, I think there's something really wrong with that, Rick. J.P. Batista had that issue here. Didn't see his mother for 4 years.
Yeah, I totally agree.
That's got to change.
If it's about the student athlete,
yeah.
That's not. I don't know how you can classify that as an improper benefit.
I mean, it's just being humane.
Yeah, in a lot of ways, you're absolutely right.
Kaida, another right-handed layup on the left-hand side of the rim. But it works.
It's in style right now, apparently. Style points.
And the quick bucket at the other end.
Back to just GU's European players. I think it's easy for fans to forget that. Now could Kaida and Murninghoff play at a high level in Europe? Probably not. But they could play somewhere and make a little bit of money and just be a pro. But they take the chance. They come here. They get an education. They understand the value of that. And so you talked about the frustration for these kids at times, and you can understand why.
2 minutes, 22 seconds to play. Gonzaga up big on Pepperdine. Matisse Kaida working hard to the rim. We'll be right back with our finish. Also time now to announce our Subway sub of the game. Big Hot Pastrami Melt is back at Subway restaurants. Big Bull Tender, crank up the flavor. Subway restaurants, proud sponsors of the Gonzaga Bulldogs. The sub of the game, Sam Dower, 9 points, 4 of 5 shooting, 2 rebounds. Really came alive in the second half.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about it going into the second half. He's a guy who seems to need a half at times to kind of get the rhythm of the game, get into the flow. And it just takes one bucket or one play to get his mojo going. And you saw it tonight, just that easy layup, got him going a quick 9 points. And what an asset off the bench for GU and for Mark Few. I tell you what, he's probably the best scorer off the bench for any ball club in the league.
And it's a bit unfair to call him a sub because he's a starter on any other team in the West Coast Conference. I don't care what team. Well, maybe BYU.
I would say BYU's probably pretty happy with the front line,
because
but outside of them, yeah. But he's playing for everybody. I mean, you know, that's how I often look at, every year, if you ask fans, every year it's the best GU team of all time and all that. But a great way to look at it sometimes is, hey, could X guy play for, ABC teams in the past, and our guys on the bench, would they play for other teams?
Foul called on Carter. The topic of Kelly Olynyk came up today at practice. Some of us were sitting down there and someone said, this is as deep a team as Gonzaga's ever had, because even on the other deep teams, Olynyk would have been playing. And I brought up, well, wait a minute. There was a team with Violet, Turioff, Fox,
Gord.
People
forget how Gord was as a junior, elimination and field goal percentage.
Is Olynyk getting time on that team?
I don't know. I don't think my minutes would have changed much, but I'm a big fan of Kelly. He's about as skilled, the big as you're going to find.
Yes.
I think this redshirt year is going to do him a lot of good, but
it is.
It's tough. It's
you
tough.
handled that well, Foxy. There's Pendo and Violet. Look at that combo.
It looks like one knows how to dress a little better than the other, but
very similar players, only one was a lot bigger than the other.
Yeah, hard, both of them hard-nosed, really competed, didn't back down from anybody, did it in different ways, but at the end of the day, you knew every night what you were going to get. And I think as a coach, that doesn't get talked about enough. You really love to have that. I know what I can get every night from the same guy. And both those kids provided that. I mean, Corey Violet was as good a post, probably one of the more underrated guys to have come through here. And obviously, everyone knows what Pendergraft did, being a more recent player.
A minute 23. There's Baker. Grabbed by Spangler. Up to Kaida. Into the paint. Left it short. As we near the 1 minute mark. Well, the tests are only going to get tougher now as the weeks come along here in the West Coast Conference. Santa Clara will be a greater tough test coming this weekend, but they still have 2 games with St. Mary's and 2 games with BYU. And those really are going to be the classics this season in the West Coast Conference.
Oh, yeah.
Those are the ones that are going to draw the most attention, I think.
I think LMU, when you have to travel down to LMU, San Francisco, and Santa Clara, all 3 of those games are going to be awfully tough. All 3 of those programs tend historically to play, if not their best, one of the better WCC games when Gonzaga comes into their gym. So, you get a false sense of security a little bit if you're GU. You play a down Portland team, obviously a rebuilding Pepperdine team. You're probably not quite as good as you feel right now, although you are impressed with the way you've played in both games.
Eddie missed the shot. Carter ran it down. Many of the fans hanging out here to the end. I mean, maybe 20% of them have left. They love their Zags in Spokane. Here's Kaida for 3.
Kaida's getting them up. 1 of 5 here.
That shot way off by Kenji. And now Gonzaga will run out the clock. 12-2, Richard.
Hey, I tell you what, if you told the coaching staff November 1, hey, you'll be 12-2 after the second conference game, they would have taken that in a heartbeat.